Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to implement a Souls-like heal mechanic, so that the player can heal after taking damage. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is create the input for it. So let's go to Project Settings, Input, and let's create a new action mapping. And let's actually call this one Use Item, because we're actually going to make this more generic. It's not just going to be a specific heal. We're going to create Use Item functionality. I'm going to make this F. Okay, so let's go to Blueprints, Combat Player Character. Let's add Use Item. Let's also copy this and paste it. So we have a comment. We'll call it Use Item. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is let's open up our base equipment. And let's give it the gameplay tag blueprint interface that we created. And let's open this up. Get owned gameplay tags. Let's promote this to a variable. Owned gameplay tags. Okay, let's copy this. Whoever has matching gameplay tag has tag. Okay, and we'll plug this into tag to check. Plug that in here to return value. Okay, and now we'll put this into category gameplay tags. Okay, now that we've done that, let's go ahead and create an interface function. In Combat System Blueprints Interfaces, let's open up the Combat API, and let's create one. Create use item. We'll say use item by tag. We'll add this into the combat actions. We'll have gameplay tag. Call this one item tag. And here be success. Okay. Let's go into the combat player character and let's add functionality to that now. My actions use item by tag. And now what we want to do here is let's get the equipped items. Let's do a for each loop. And let's check is valid. So if this is valid, if this item is valid, let's get the item tag here. So we can do that. Type in get item tag, and then we're going to check is this tag input tag equal to get owned gameplay tag. Oh, actually, I think instead what we should do is just check as tag, as matching gameplay tag. And after you've done that, we can just plug this in here like this. And if it has matching gameplay tag, we can basically just call, we have a use item, no. So let's put that in our equipable, let's create a custom event, use item. Okay, and let's call use item. So first we want to check if this is true. If this is true, then we use item, and then we return success. On completed, we return false. Okay, and that should work. So now let's go to where our base equipable is, and let's create a child from that. We'll call it BP underscore, health potion. And here in health potion, let's add event use item. So that way we can override the use item event. And from here, let's get the owner. And let's form action. I think we should probably add a perform custom action. So let's do that now. Let's go to Combat BPI. Let's make it similar to perform action. So let's create a new function, form custom action. Okay, in perform custom action, let's go ahead and create some new functionality. Okay, so we're going to need action tag and state tag. So let's add a gameplay tag. This will also be a gameplay tag. And this one will be a montage. And this one will be action tag. And this one will be state tag. in montage. Let's also add another one. Make this a float. This will be montage play rate. Okay, I think that'll be good for now. So let's go to combat player character. And forgot that we need to add a return value to this. So let's return a boolean be success. File and save. Okay, now let's add some functionality. Let's open up perform action and let's just copy this because we're going to need a lot of this. Okay, so we're not going to need this or this or this. So in montage, this will be the local variable here. We're not going to need all of this. This is success here. Okay, now let's get state tag. And let's get action tag. Okay, now let's get play rate, get montage play rate. And also for montage play rate, something very important that we don't need to forget here for this function is we want to set this by default to 1. Otherwise the montage wouldn't even play because the play rate would be 0. Okay, now in the use function on the health potion blueprint, let's call form custom action. Okay, and this one will be action. We'll just call this one use item. State tag, let's be general action state. And montage, let's just promote this to a variable and use item montage. And the category will be montages. And also instead of base healing potion, let's browse to this asset and let's rename it to BP_ consumable. So this is for consumable items, and let's create a child class from that. This will be BP_ health potion. Okay. And now we can set our heal animation from here. So let's see if it shows up here. Okay, let's go back and recompile this. I wasn't seeing it there. Let's try again. Click class defaults. Okay, here it is. Use item montage. So now let's create our animation montage. So in order to do that, let's go to content, Paragon Quang, animations, potion. So I've already retargeted my animation, but this animation comes with the course files. So just locate the animation and retarget it to Quang. And now what I'm going to do is create an animation montage from this. Okay, now we need to add like a sound here. So let's go ahead and go to course file, sound effects, and let's see if there's anything for this. Okay, we have character heal here, character potion. Okay, let's just use character heal. So let's create a queue. Call this one character _ heal _ queue. So we'll have random. And the second one, I guess we'll use heal mana, just to have some variety here. Okay, and also I think this is a little bit too loud. I think I'm gonna lower the volume a little bit. Volume multiplier, I'm gonna set this something like 0.4. See what that sounds like. That's a lot better, I think. So I'm gonna select character heal queue and go to my montage. And then add notify, play sound. And it should add it automatically there since we had it selected. Let's add another one. Notify, let's play a particle effect. The particle effect is going to be some sort of heal from Infinity Blade. Effects. Heal. Let's do health player buff ping 1. Let's try that. See what it looks like. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, and now let's add another notify track. And this notify is actually going to modify the stat for us. So in order to do that, let's create an animation notify for that. Combat system blueprints. Let's do this with an animation notify. Let's create a new blueprint class, and this will be an anim notify. We'll call this one modify current stat value. This will be an underscore stat value. And let's override the receive notify, and from the mesh component, let's get the owner. And from the owner, let's get component by class, and we're going to get the stats component. And from the stats component, we are going to modify current stat value. And here, let's just promote all these two variables. There we go. And let's make those instance editable. Compile and save. Okay, let's go back to the animation. Let's add a modify current stat value. Okay, and the stat is going to be health. It's not going to regenerate, and the value is going to be, let's add about 25 onto the health. Okay, now let's go to the health potion here. Let's set our animation montage here. Let's make sure that we have it selected. And now we can select the animation montage. And also let's give this a tag. The tag that we're going to give it is, what's the owned gameplay tags? Call this one, we'll create a new one here, and this one will be item dot consumable dot potion. Now let's go back to the combat player character, and here on use item. Actually, let's add another tag to this as well. To this, let's add a tag here to the base consumable, the parent class. So to own tags. This one's going to be item.consumable. Compile and save. And so health potion should have, let's see, let's do item.consumable. There we go. And let's add another one, item.consumable potion. Let's see if this works. Let's call use item by tag. And the tag is going to be consumable. We're going to use consumable by tag. And here in the class defaults, where's the starting equipment? Here it is. Let's add another one. Let's add a potion. Health potion. Compile and save. And let's see if that works. Okay, that does work. And this is a really good way to use gameplay tags, because it's going through every item that you have equipped, and it's checking does it have the tag item.consumable. And our consumable potion that we added does have item.consumable. It has item.consumable.potion. But he was dragging his feet, so let's set that to upper body. Okay, let's see if that works. And we're going to also make this to where you can only consume a limited number. For some reason it's not working. Let's try it again. Okay, so instead of default group upper body slot, let's try default group upper body and see if that works. Okay, that did work. Okay, you just have to find the right one there. Okay, and it looks like my character is frozen. That is because we didn't call a reset. So here at the end, let's call notify reset combat. Okay. Now, let's see how this works. Okay, yep, that does still work. And let's let him damage us and see if it heals our health. Okay, yes, it does work. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let's make this to where we can only use it a certain amount of times. So in order to do that, let's open up the consumable here. Let's create a new variable. Let's make this an integer. And this will be number uses. Okay, when we use item, we will increment number of uses, which will basically just add 1 to it. And then before we do this though, let's add a check. And we'll duplicate this, and this will be max number of uses. So this one was going to be current number of uses. That one's going to be max number of uses. Current number of uses can be private, but max number of uses will be adjustable. I'm going to make this 3, or let's make this 2. Okay, current number of uses. Is it less than or equal to max number of uses? If that is true, then we can continue. Otherwise, we can't. Now let's see what happens if I use it 3 times. After that, I can't use it. Okay, so that's not exactly correct though, because... Okay, so now, in order to fix that, we don't want to be able to perform this if we're already performing it. Let's just get can perform attack, and so duplicate that. Can use item. Alright, this has most of the general actions that we want to be blocking. And let's add here a condition branch. Let's check can use item. Now this should prevent spamming. Let's try it again. 2, 3. Okay, yep, that worked. Okay, now let's display everything on our HUD. Okay, so in order to display it on our HUD, what we can do is we can just update this. So let's open up Health Potion and let's just update the HUD from here. Let's go event, use item, let's add a call parent function, and we can update the HUD from here. Okay, let's go to our player controller and let's create a custom event. Update Health Potion amount, and let's get the main HUD. We can update it from here. Convert that to a validated get, but before we update it, we actually need to add that to our HUD. So let's go to find our main HUD. Should be in here. Main HUD. And let's add an image. This will be here at the bottom left. I'll put an anchor to the bottom left. And the icon we want to be, let's see here. This will be in the course files, UI. It'll be the health. So we want to open this, and let's set the texture group to UI. And now let's go to main HUD, and let's set that here. So we have that. Now let's add a number. Let's add text. And this text will, let's see here, let's set it to 0. Okay, let's move this down a bit. Okay, so we might make that slightly smaller, and let's get the text here. Now, let's rename this. This will be potion amount text. And we'll make this a variable. And let's get potion amount text, and let's set to text. Let's create a custom event. Set potion amount. And input will be an integer. And this will be amount. Okay, there we go. Compile and save. And let's go into consumable here. And let's on begin play. Okay, let's see, do we have a function for this? So let's call set potion amount. And let's plug this amount in here. Okay, there we go. But instead of doing it this way, let's actually create an interface for this. I think it would be a little bit better to create an interface. So update health potion amount. And we'll create an integer amount. Let's go to combat character here. And let's call event update health potion amount. Now let's get controller. And we can cast to combat player controller. And let's update. So actually, first let's go to the combat player controller and let's just rename this to set potion amount. And let's call from here set potion amount. Let's plug this in here like this. Compile and save. Okay, and now let's go to health potion. And here on begin play, let's get owner, and let's call update health potion amount. And the amount that we're going to update it with will be, let's get max number of uses and set that as the amount. Okay, and so what we're doing here is we're doing the number of uses and incrementing it. And once it reaches the max number of uses, we no longer allow it. Let's actually flip this and let's decrement int. So we need to check current number of uses. Is it greater than 0? Okay, and let's also call current number of uses. This will be like current number of uses left. And we'll set that to max number of uses. Okay, and our health potion. Okay, and now whenever we do this, we need to update it. Get owner. Let's update health potion amount. We'll update it to this value here, just like this. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, that does work. Okay, let's actually add a little bit more functionality, because the way this is going to work is it's going to decrement and it's going to update the health amount and everything like that. It will do all of that. It will basically do all of this as soon as it plays the animation. So it's going to go ahead and play the animation and decrement it. But if you, for example, do that, and then like you get hit by a hit reaction, it's going to take one away, even though it doesn't use the heal. So better way to do this would be, let's go to the, this is a basic consumable. Let's create a custom event, and we'll call this one, call it consume item. So this will consume it. Actually, let's go to our base equipable, and inside the base equipable, let's rename this use item to form item action. That way it's a little bit more appropriate to what we're doing here. And let's go back to base consumable, and this will be consume item. And now what we can do is, let's go to our combat player character, and let's call, let's create a function to get the item by tag. So let's copy all of this. Get item by tag. We could say get whipped item by tag. And here we'll check has tag, has matching gameplay tag. We'll make sure that target is BP base equipable. And here, call this item tag. If it has that, then we return the item that we're looking for. Return value. Make this a pure function, and so this will basically, for each loop, we'll get all of our equipped items. It will loop through each one, check if it is valid. If it is valid, we check, does it have the matching gameplay tag? If it has the matching gameplay tag, then we return the one that we found. So we have get equipped item by tag. That's a pretty useful function. And now what we can do with that is, let's go to blueprints, enum notifies. Let's create a new enum notify. Select, we'll call this one an underscore consume item. Okay, and let's override receive notify. Here, let's get owner. We can cast to combat character, BP underscore combat player character. And let's get equipped item by tag. And the item tag is going to be, let's promote that to a variable. Item tag to consume. Make that instance editable. And after that, let's pass to consumable. And from consumable, let's consume item. Okay, compile and save. Let's go to consumable, and on consume item event, let's basically just run this code here. So this is only going to run once we consume the item. Okay, and then something else that would be a good idea to do is let's go to drinking potion, and let's remove this modify current stat value, and let's replace it with consume item. There we go, we have consume item instead. Now we can go into the consumable, and do we have the stats component? No. Get owner, get component by class. Let's get the stats component, and let's modify current stat value, and let's promote some of this stuff to a variable. Promote to variable, and promote to variable. Consumable stat modification. Let's put those in that category there. And let's plug this up here. Instead of value, let's name this to modification value. Okay, and so that way we can change a different value to modify the health depending on what type of potion it is. So we can have like a lesser potion or a greater potion or something like that. So let's go to class defaults here. Let's see, do I have, here it is, consumable stat modification. And here under consumable stat modification, we can select health and modification value 25. Okay, now let's test that out and see if it works. Okay, having issues, it's not working. Let's see what the issue is here. Perform item action. Let's go to health potion. Perform item action. I see. So we have overridden this function but not added any implementation to it. So let's just compile and save. I don't believe we actually need to override that at all anyway, because the base consumable actually takes care of all that. We can delete that as well. Okay, also we forgot to update the tag. That's my mistake. This will be item consumable potion. So we're going to consume the potion that we have equipped. Okay, and that works, yes. Now let's see if it actually modifies our health as well. So let's go, take some damage here. Okay, so let's try to heal. Okay, yes, and that does work. But let's, for our health potion, I'd like to set that to 3 actually, just to give the player 3 heals. Max number of uses 3. And we can actually add that to the category consumable stat modification. Let's see, max number of uses. Let's just add that here. Now we should have 3 uses of the healing potion. Yes, we do. Once we reach 0, we can no longer heal. So that works pretty good. I think everything works really well now. Okay, I think this is a good stopping point. In this video, we have implemented a heal mechanic, we have implemented a potion count that updates on the UI, and we have implemented use item functionality. Thanks for watching. In the next video, we are going to fix some bugs.